Welcome to Chronic Explained Dive into the myth, the mystery, and the meaning behind one of the most misunderstood figures in mythology. Today, we're exploring Medusa, monster, victim, or feminist symbol. Who was she really? A snake-haired villain? A tragic sufferer? Or an icon of resistance? Let's peel back the layers of legend, art, and politics that have shaped her story for thousands of years. From ancient Greece to modern feminism, Medusa's image has gone through countless transformations. Stick with us as we unpack the origins, evolution, and cultural impact of this complex mythological figure. To begin, let's explore Medusa's origin story in Greek mythology. Medusa was one of the three Gorgon sisters, daughters of sea deities Phorcys and Ceto. Unlike her immortal sisters, Medusa was mortal. She was known for her extraordinary beauty before her transformation into the snake-haired creature we know today. According to the poet Ovid's version in Metamorphoses, Medusa was a priestess in Athena's temple. She caught the attention of Poseidon, the god of the sea, who assaulted her in the temple. Instead of punishing Poseidon, Athena punished Medusa by transforming her into a monster. Her hair turned into venomous snakes, and her gaze gained the power to turn people into stone. This tale immediately raises questions about blame and justice. Was Medusa truly a monster? Or was she a victim of divine punishment and patriarchal injustice? Her transformation was not her choice. It was forced upon her as a consequence of someone else's wrongdoing. This detail has become a major point in feminist readings of the myth. For centuries, Medusa was portrayed as a horrifying beast to be slain, but today, many scholars and activists see her as a symbol of victimhood, survival, and even empowerment. Let's look at her role in mythology after her transformation. Medusa becomes a feared creature, living in isolation. Her gaze is lethal. Anyone who looks directly at her turns to stone. She becomes a target, not just feared, but hunted. Eventually, she is killed by the hero Perseus, who uses a mirrored shield to avoid her gaze. He beheads her, and from her severed neck spring Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a golden giant. Perseus then uses Medusa's head as a weapon before giving it to Athena, who places it on her shield. This act immortalizes Medusa's image as a powerful yet defeated figure. But what does Medusa represent beyond the myth? In ancient Greece, her image appeared often in art and architecture, especially as an apotropaic symbol, meant to ward off evil. Ironically, her terrifying face became a protective emblem. In this sense, Medusa was both feared and revered, hated and honored. She represented danger, but also power, especially female power, which could be seen as both threatening and sacred. Fast forward to the Renaissance and Enlightenment periods, and Medusa's image continues to evolve. Artists like Caravaggio and Rubens depicted her horror in stunning detail. Writers and philosophers began to see her as a representation of chaos, irrationality, and the untamable side of human nature. The monster narrative persisted, but with deeper psychological interpretations. Then came the feminist reinterpretations. In the 20th and 21st centuries, feminist writers began to ask, what if Medusa wasn't the monster she was made out to be? What if her transformation and isolation were symbols of how society punishes women who are violated or powerful? In 1975, poet and writer Hélène Cixous wrote the essay The Laugh of the Medusa, reclaiming the Gorgon as a figure of feminine strength and creativity. In this vision, Medusa is not something to fear, but something to embrace. The snakes, the stare, the solitude all become metaphors for untamed female energy. Modern artists and activists have also used Medusa to comment on rape culture and victim blaming. Her story is told not as one of evil, but of trauma and survival. In 2018, a sculpture titled Medusa with the Head of Perseus by artist Luciano Garbati gained attention for reversing the traditional myth. Instead of Perseus holding Medusa's head, it's Medusa holding his, an inversion that challenges the power dynamics of the original story. This sculpture was even displayed in New York, near the courthouse where Harvey Weinstein stood trial. It became a visual statement about justice, power, and reclaiming the narrative. So who is Medusa, really? A monster created by the gods? A tragic figure punished for someone else's crime? Or a modern feminist icon, embodying the complexities of female power, rage, and autonomy? The truth is, she can be all of these things. Her image is layered, shifting depending on the time, the culture, and the lens through which we view her. What makes Medusa so compelling is precisely this duality. She's been used to scare and to protect, to silence and to speak, to oppress and to liberate. She reminds us how myths can evolve and be reinterpreted based on the needs and values of a society. She also shows us how power, especially female power, can be distorted into something monstrous by those who fear it. Even her gaze is symbolic. It freezes, it paralyzes. But perhaps that's not just literal. Maybe her stare represents truth or trauma or a refusal to be ignored. Maybe turning people to stone is a metaphor for confronting uncomfortable realities. In this way, Medusa's power becomes not destructive, but revelatory. In popular culture, Medusa continues to appear in films, books, comics, and fashion. She's a symbol of danger, beauty, rebellion, and identity. Fashion brand. Versace uses her face as a logo, symbolizing seduction and strength. In literature, she inspires both horror and admiration. In feminist circles, she remains a potent icon of resistance. So next time you see an image of Medusa, think beyond the snakes. Ask yourself, what does she mean in this context? What version of her story is being told? Is she being villainized or vindicated? Is she a threat or a warning? A victim or a voice? Thank you for joining us on this journey through myth and meaning. We hope this exploration of Medusa gave you a new perspective on an ancient story. Let us know in the comments what you think. Is Medusa a monster, a victim, or a feminist symbol in your eyes? Or maybe she's something else entirely, something even more powerful than a label. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Your support helps us grow and bring more stories like this to light. And don't forget to subscribe to the Chronicles Explained for more deep dives into mythology, history, and culture. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. We post new content regularly, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Until next time, keep questioning the myths and finding your own meaning in the stories we tell. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.